are back behind your cameras, and some are out of state.
Okay.
We have director of graphic art, artist development and training. That's Tony Lewis. Director of IT is David Scruggs.
Okay.
Street crew director, people that kind of get out on the streets, get the word out there. That's Kelly Minter. She's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
All three of those people are actually in Florida.
So you got really a whole team of people together that's working on this.
We're all kind of artists and DJs, and that's, so our label's for artists because we're by artists.
Oh, okay.
So just being out in the world like that, we kind of see how the business has been in the past, well, since it started. And back in the 40s or 50s when labels first came about, even back then, artists were just clamoring for some kind of reform.
Okay.
Whether it been real world reform or in the industry.
So what part of what's your player part in this? As even though you are vice president, so tell us kind of really.
Well, I'm actually the CEO of the company.
CEO. Right. Okay, let me get that straight.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I promise.
CEO. Okay. Okay.
It's all good. Primarily, what I do is I basically look out for the direction of the company, make sure everybody's going in the same direction, and make sure there's transparency so everybody knows what's going on. Now, a lot of the nuts and bolts of what Risen does, I came up with. I mean, I joke with Jason a lot. The first few months there when I was writing all these business plans, I tortured him with having to read each one of them and trying to figure out what spelling was wrong.
Oh, okay.
So, but after getting all that kind of stuff done is really when we started, really hitting the streets with it. And we realized after talking to the first few people that they were getting really excited about it, like we were.
Okay.
And anytime you got something new that nobody's ever heard of before, if they don't get excited about it, you better go back to the drawing board and figure out what's wrong.
Okay.
I mean, first time we talked to Preston over here, we talked to him about 15 minutes, and then the rest of the meeting, he was talking back at us about it, about what he could do. So
Preston handles the marketing. So tell us kind of, even though we know what marketing is, most of us, but as far as the game plan for this, how are you involved?
Jason and Chris, like he mentioned in the meeting, we had, he pretty much brought me on the board to pretty much help launch this label in the direction that it's going to get it out there, whether it's events for the artists or getting the artists out there in a way, shape, form, or fashion I can, just help to direct it, And pretty much we're targeting the age demographic of 18 to 35, so my primary job is to pretty much set up a good, organized, strategic plan to best make that happen.
So, and this might be in, something that you don't want to answer, but how are you going to introduce it to the city? So are you having, conferences or anything? How are you?
We can, we initially, one of the artists was actually planning to kind of do like a launch album release party for him.
Okay.
And then also kind of incorporate the Risen out there, put it out there, and bring different people to the party to kind of introduce the artists as well as Risen.
Still be kind of what we do.
Yeah, and it'll be for, and that'll just be for all the artists. But we still working on it, but we're also gonna make sure that when we do lunch that we do it properly.
Yeah, we got some unified directions with Song Bliss and Muse Spring.
Right. So
so we're kind of co-launching with all of them.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's going to kind of guide what we do, our album releases and their releases of their new.
Okay. Now you mentioned something new when you said. I heard you say Song Bliss.
Song Bliss.
What is that? How is that connected?
Song
Is
Bliss
that something new as well?
Yeah. I like to say it's a music fanatics social network.
Okay.
They built a from scratch search engine that you could put a lyric of a song into the search engine and it'll find that song for you.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could be some Japanese music you never heard of and it'll go find it.
Okay. So that's Song Bliss.
It's a music discovery engine, but that's just one side of it. It'll also, like the common user, it allows them to come on there, discover new music, allows them to build playlists of that music. And you can upload your own songs, your own playlists, and sit there and have one location you can watch videos from, you can listen to all your music from. So it's kind of like Rhapsody on steroids, iTunes on steroids. But it's also got the social networking part plugged in there.
Okay.
So Facebook and MySpace, they had all these wonderful things you could do when they first came out.
Okay.
what Song Bliss did is it learned from both their mistakes and their successes and built upon those. So everything you can do on MySpace and Facebook, I mean, you can do on Song Bliss too, but you have this solid music discovery just system right there in front of you, which is what MySpace and Facebook tried to do, but they failed at.
Okay.
So when a user comes to Song Bliss, they're instantly able to connect with their favorite artists. They can talk to their favorite artists, they can become friends with their favorite artists or fans of their favorite artists. They can stay up on all of the happenings with that band or artist.
Okay.
Um,
So now, Risen Records and Song Bliss. So that's like two separate, but now partners pretty much. Is
Right.
am I getting that right?
Mhm.
It's two partners.
It started out as us and them, and as Chris and I gradually grew, and with the ideas that were shared between us and the owner of the company, it's become more of, we need to get this done, and we need to
we
do
both
this.
realized the importance of each other. They had connections that we didn't have. We had connections that they didn't have. Song Bliss used to be called Your Thoughts, but after having all these artists from us under like their observation and being able to talk to us and get feedback from us, it just took on a life of its own and completely changed the way it looks, the services they offer to artists.